Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Opus Vita Talks. I'm your host, Isaac Joel. I'm your local filmmaker right here in Phoenix, Arizona. I am with my guests, Ronan Revenge and Ruben Rapolda. Ronan Revenge, will you introduce yourself?
What is up, guys? It is Lord Ronan coming to you straight from the alternate dimensions of the mind, ready to get into this.
Well, thank you so much for being here today with us, Ronan. Ruben Rapolda, our producer in the back.
What is everybody? I'm a little drained right now after what we witnessed.
Oh my goodness!
Fair.
We just got out of the movies right now. We came as always straight from the movies right here to the couch to bullshit and talk with you, the people, about The Gentleman. We're gonna get right into this. We are reviewing The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie's most recent original script, straight from him. This is a passion project straight from Guy Ritchie. Mm-hmm. This is Rian Johnson's Knives Out, essentially. Mm-hmm. You know, Guy Ritchie. This movie is about a drug lord kingpin, Mickey, played by Matthew McConaughey, who is on the hunt for someone to buy his marijuana property. It's worth over $400 million. That's the low asking price that he is asking for it. Mm-hmm. And that is what they tell you this movie is, and that is what this movie is marketed as this story of a kingpin who is getting too old, perhaps, or just wants to get out of the game and move on, and everybody is trying to get in on his business. This movie received so many good early reviews. I want to say the early reactions I was hearing were exactly the things I wanted to hear about this movie, because this movie was so not on my radar, but at the same time it had my interest because it was an original thing. You know, the poster and the trailer style, the font, the way it was edited had a lot of similarities to Kingsman to me. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely not that at all, but in a weird way, it's just the way it looks like they pitched the aesthetics of Kingsman to them. Mm-hmm. But that's not this movie at all.
Well, first off, sorry. Well, first off, it, like, I'm surprised you even recited that, because, like, I know that was more than I even remember. Watching it. If I'm being honest, you know,
I was really excited to see it.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was talking to Ruben too about that. I was excited too, because this was a little bit different than the movies we were seeing, or have been seeing. A little bit different from the climate. And I'm saying that strictly as like a trailer point of view. You know, it was something that could have taken a life of its own. Mm-hmm.
What I was hearing was that this movie is more than you think it is. It is gruesome. It is vulgar. Yeah. It is
all the
dirty.
Things that make it sound all salacious.
It is the action is practical. Yeah. I kept hearing practical. Yeah. Okay, and that's important. Okay. I heard that the action was just real, that they really shot those scenes. Guy Ritchie is back, better than ever. All that is everything we heard, and we went into this movie heads pretty held high. The movie starts with what it appears to be the main character, Matthew McConaughey, being shot, and in a weird way, it feels like the movie's already over.
Yeah, but they didn't show you. There was no real confirmation that he died. If we're talking like in a plot,
yes,
like, you know, way.
But it still felt like it was over. Yeah. And then you cut to
these long credits
that show the whole movie.
Yes, in slideshow
right away,
formats,
kind of like Mission
3D,
Impossible. You know how they do it
with this weird like 3D like blenders and shit.
Yeah. And then the movie apparently starts. And I say that because it starts off with Hugh Grant telling the story. And that is the movie. The movie itself is a story that is being narrated the entire time.
Yes.
It is information nonstop. It is narration nonstop. It is information overload, and you never know, when the movie starts.
Yes.
I kept on waiting for when the movie was actually going to start.
Yes.
But little did I know, it started a long time ago. I just haven't gotten on board with the program.
And exactly, I 100% agree with you, because I was constantly feeling like, okay, I know all this information about these characters. When can I actually see
Watch
these
them
characters
be the
these
characters.
Yes, exactly. And look, dude, if I'm being honest, to give it the benefit of the doubt, it did have moments where I felt like it took itself seriously. But then they cut away.
They cut away.
Or they don't let the scene breathe more. We don't get enough of it.
You don't get blood.
Nothing.
You don't get the actual violence.
Nothing.
You just get the threat, and then we cut.
And that stuff is pretty impressive.
You get the fear in the face.
Yes.
You get the fear being drilled into these characters and instilled into them.
No action.
But you don't
no action.
see
It's
the
all
threat.
talk, essentially.
Talk.
It's all talk. Yeah.
And it's a lot of talking, and that's the narration. It's so much talking, because it's not only talking of explaining the story, but it's also talking of the actual story of the characters talking.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like a bedtime story.
Yeah, it's weird.
Have you ever seen bedtime stories with Adam Sandler? That's this movie.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that
weird.
movie.
It is a good movie.
I was waiting for gum drops to fall from the sky in this movie.
Gumdrops. Could you
Not the
imagine?
gumdrop buttons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey is Matthew McConaughey.
Yep.
He came to set in the clothes that he already had on, in jeans and a nice blazer, essentially. The gentleman aspect for a movie called Gentleman, there really is no gentleman like factor in it.
They try to make it up with. They try to kind of like hold on
The
to that with
slang,
it being
the way they
speech
talk.
and stuff like that. But it kind of they added too much. I feel like they just added too much like filler language that had like no correlation, or it was like too much fat into like what they were trying to like say, trying to do. They just added words for the sake of filling it out, I felt.
Matthew McConaughey just sounded like he was doing another Lincoln ad.
Yeah.
With the haikus and the
I'm going
poetry
down
that he was
Lincoln.
saying, you don't get to be the king unless you live to be the king.
Yeah, with his wrinkly neck, dude.
Yeah. At one point in the beginning of the movie, he has this real wrinkly neck that
it
could
was
be
fucking
mistaken
weird,
for a
bro.
prosthetic.
Yeah.
Or a character decision that they
No,
went
that's
through, but
just-
halfway
no,
through the movie,
it's not no prosthetic,
it just
dude. It's just because
disappears.
white people just don't age well. Okay, this is just showing signs of age, dude. You know what I'm saying? Matthew, dude, and I could see that because Matthew McConaughey felt like, and he never like stood up straight with how like dominant of a
No,
character he was.
like,
hunched over, bro.
He looked like Doofenshmirtz.
yeah, dude.
In a nice
Seriously.
blazer.
Seriously.
There was nothing memorable about this movie, dude. Look. If I gotta give it something, I guess I really enjoyed the interrogation scene where I don't even remember these damn assholes.
You don't even have
But
to
I
try
know
so
the way
hard,
they
bro.
look like.
Don't try.
The blonde dude with the hair slicked back and the
Yeah.
glasses. He
Yeah.
looks like a wizard.
Yeah.
And the way he walked in and was so domineering
Yes.
on all the kids in there.
Yeah.
The way he threatened them, the presence that he brought. I really like the presence he brought in his scenes when he had his moments when he chased the kid down and pulled out his gun and starts shooting in the air and takes the phone from him. I thought he looked like he was having fun in those scenes. And Matthew McConaughey looked like he was having fun when he shot up the Asians and the balls but that's not even real.
Yes.
It was just
exactly.
a fake scene. So there's
Exactly.
action, but it's
And
not
then it
real
rewinds.
action, and you realize it's not even real.
And then it fucking rewinds, and then makes you
Yeah.
watch footage over again.
The editing on this movie was so weird,
Wonky, messy,
so wonky.
sloppy.
They would replay scenes that we had seen already in the beginning.
Yes.
to fill up, and this movie was already short, 150, and it felt like it just was trying to stretch out its length. I'm really disappointed in this movie. is what we're getting.
There was no
at
commitment.
here.
There was no commitment in any of the themes. You know what I'm saying? This could have been. It was convincing me. It was something akin to Knives Out, but then it was at a time where it was something smart, and then it felt like it just didn't know what it wanted to be necessarily. The weed, all the marijuana themes were like so in your face, dude. You know what I'm saying? Weird zoom ups of people just inhaling smoke. And I like when they were like smoking weed and stuff like that, it never felt casual. It always looked so intentional that they were rolling a joint or something like that. I wish it just would have been something like a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? I wish they would have had those joints on. Yeah. There was, Matthew McConaughey does not smoke weed at all.
At all. Doesn't touch any of the products.
It's because of those fucking stock prices, dude. You got to worry about that stock price, man. He wasn't gonna.
I understand that you don't get high on your own supply, but in this movie, you as the boss, as the kingpin, you gotta have a joint. There was a scene where he was showing a blunt to a guy, and he was smoking it right in front of him. You would think you would be passing it back and forth.
Yeah, dude.
Like professionals, shit, Yeah,
like professionals.
Yeah. Show me that you like this shit too.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
This movie was really frustrating. This movie was really boring. This movie was really frustrating.
I agree.
I couldn't keep up with it. I wanted to. I really was paying attention and trying to keep track of what the hell Hugh Grant was saying in his fast mumbling British accent. And you just talk like this.
And Hugh Grant was like strangely like gay.
You don't know if he's gay or if he's just playfully
and no disrespect, dude,
but it does come off as he wants to sleep with the guy.
Yeah, dude, holy
really
shit.
Wants to sleep with him,
yes,
like Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, seriously, bro.
He was Weinstein.
It was kind of weird, to the point where it was like even like winky and stuff. He like grabs his thigh. It was very strange, man. Very strange, dude.
Ruben, do you have any thoughts about this movie? Did you? You were pretty excited to see this with us.
I was, because we haven't seen much good stuff, I guess I would say, in the recent months. Or the stuff has come out. We'll talk about how Ronan reacted to Bad Boys. We'll talk about that later. But
Jesus.
I was coming in here, excited with, I guess I would say, high expectations, and I guess that kind of killed the movie for me because I had such high expectations. And I don't know, it's just I appreciate them for trying something different, telling it different, but I just feel like it was botched from the beginning.
Sorry, what a word.
Damn.
Botched.
Slaughtered. Massacred.
So nice in the beginning, dude.
Bro,
that sentence.
Yeah.
It just... If you're not in like in the first minute or two, you're completely lost. And
you're right. You're right.
I was lost.
We all were questioning the first minute
dude.
of it.
You're right. I was fucking lost, man.
And now that I'm thinking about more about like what this movie was about, like half of the movie was like about this journalist not getting his like hand shaken by Matthew McConaughey in Seeking Revenge.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much half of the movie. Having the
reporter just talk.
He was unnecessary.
Just talk.
Having the, I don't know, just
no impressive cinematography, no impressive frames, man.
You're right, and that was actually
no aesthetics, dude. The fashion was whack.
So standard. Yes. It looked like this movie was just shot.
Yeah,
no
fashion
one
was
really
whack. I didn't like what anyone was wearing.
With the fashion, no one got in depth with the colors.
Yeah.
No one got in depth with the world of it.
Yes, absolutely.
But
Can I indulge me, please? Can I hear some reviews of some positives of like why people may like this movie? I'm not saying it's unlikable, but I just want to know what like other people say.
Man. I was reading some good
Is this
stuff.
too much?
I was reading it had a lot of action. I heard a lot of it's really funny. It's really funny. Another thing that I kind of want to mention was it's right now on Rotten Tomatoes, its audience score is 91% and the tomato score is 72%.
Wow.
Oh my god.
What did you see? What did you see, bro?
In a word, Mr. Grant is sensational. And now look, I don't even want to continue off of that because look, this guy is just talking. He is just in a room. He's just at an Airbnb talking.
Yeah.
That's nothing. You are not doing any complicated acting. You are not transforming yourself into anything. You are putting a fake bush on and holding a camera.
Yeah.
There's no challenge in this movie for any of these characters.
Yeah.
God, that was the first thing I read. That pissed me the fuck off.
Dude, I love seeing his energy, man.
It's
I love
a
seeing
diverting,
his chaos.
if slightly
I really
undercooked throwback that could offer more genuine intrigue. But that's still worth it to see the cast gamely chuck out the window manners and vanity.
He said undercooked. Dude, that's perfect. Undercooked.
Oh, it says, they're having so much fun. It's January, so why resist? Better on Chuckle Foundly. Enjoy the popcorn and move on. That was a good review. That wasn't a bad review, Miles. No, that was actually the good review that I just read.
Dude, that was perfect. I love how honest that was, dude.
Enjoy it.
I love it. Yeah.
He said just fuck off.
I love that was the only realist, man. Like dude, that's awesome, bro. That's so funny.
I was really hoping that this would be the first good movie of the year, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm here to tell you it is not. It is not. You do not have to go see The Gentleman. I do not recommend this movie at all. I do not want to see this ever again.
Save your memories. Save your children from it. Bury it.
I want my $12 back.
Damn, like that, dude. No, dude. Look, bro. Listen, that's a different type of bad. It's like the one where you rather your time back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how I felt with Star Wars, bro.
Ooh,
I felt way
I had
longer.
to see Star Wars twice.
I saw it at least 3 times.
Oh,
Saw it 3 times.
Yeah, you saw it 3 times too.
It was alright.
Once you knew what it wasn't too bad.
It's going to be a rough year, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to get through it with you. We're going to move on to another review. Now, this is a movie I will admit I have not seen personally. Bad Boys for Life. Bad Boys for Life hit theaters this past weekend along with Dr. Dolittle.
Unfortunately.
No, not Dr. Dolittle. Just called Dolittle.
Yeah. Dolittle.
But anyways, Bad Boys for Life. I just to give a little a little story. I was at a video shoot on Sunday, the weekend it came out, and I was very curious about going to see Bad Boys for Life. I knew it did not pique my interest at all.
Now a lot of people were telling me they were excited, dude. A lot of people were telling me they were excited.
Good things that day on set, dude.
Yes.
These people were saying, "I just saw it the other night. Better than the first one." Better than the first one, man. You gotta go see it. It is so good, so funny. Oh my god, it is so crazy. It is good. It is the best thing ever, dude. I'm driving home, and I get a random FaceTime call from you, and I said, "Oh, this has to be good. If he's calling me on a Sunday at this time, what is happening?"
Dude.
So I
honestly
needed to know. I was like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And I just love how fate just aligns. And you told me, "Hey, listen, man, I need to tell you something. I'm going to go see Bad Boys for Life right now. And if I don't make it back, I want you to know I love you."
This is a real conversation. Seriously.
And then I had to tell you, I was like, well, dude, I hear it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoy it. And I told you, look, if you say anything good about this movie to me, I will go see it. I will. And I went home that day and I revisited the first Bad Boys to jog my memory on it. And before I even talk about Bad Boys for Life, I want to say the Bad Boys movies are not good movies.
Yeah,
Because the first movie is all about Martin Lawrence pretending to be Will Smith's character, and Will Smith's character pretending to be Martin Lawrence's character to trick this one white girl for no reason.
Directed by Michael Bay.
Directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Not written by him. Not
Yeah.
produced by him.
Yeah.
This is just the guy that came in and just shot the movie, pretty much. So I don't get why people always claim that these are Michael Bay's properties. Really. It's not funny. It's a lot of annoying bickering. Martin Lawrence is I don't see what we saw in Martin Lawrence, dude. He is not funny at all, man. You know that movie he did where he was like a high school basketball coach? It was called like Rebound. So it went like straight to DVD.
Dude, he wasn't even
Big
funny
Mama's
in
House
Big
4.
Mamas. Yeah,
what about
Like father, like son?
Yeah, dude.
This guy's not funny, man.
What about
He's not funny? I hate to say it. I hate to burst you guys' bubble.
You're right, dude.
But
No,
it's
you're
the
right.
truth.
He's
This
not
guy's not funny.
funny.
He's no Eddie Murphy, Beverly
He's not
Hills
funny,
cop,
dude.
okay?
You're so right, bro.
Will Smith is doing Will Smith, being that hot young guy, you know, for right off of
That
Fresh
hot
Prince,
dad,
you know.
Yeah, that hot aged guy, that dilf.
The only good things I could say about those movies is, hey, I like the way they're shot and I like the color. I can give you guys that, but other than that, it's annoying.
College Road
movie.
Trip, that's
annoying ass
It's
movie.
annoying.
College Road Trip, was it Raven Simone?
Yeah. You ever seen that one?
Yeah, I saw it. It was
I
like on
rented-
HBO one
dude.
night.
I
Yeah,
rented that on
bro.
Redbox.
I watched it in Mexico on a family trip, dude. It was on
What the
TV, and we're
fuck?
like, you know what? I guess we're watching this. Anyways,
What the
I
fuck?
paid late fees on that movie, bro.
Ronan, you saw Bad
No
Boys
way, dude. You
for
guys
life.
are crazy. You guys are crazy. Yes, I fucking did, man. I
Tell
did.
us
Yes.
all about it. Tell us what you think.
No. Okay, listen. All right, listen. I agree with everything you said about the original Bad Boys movies. Dude.
Am I not black
It's-
enough to enjoy
it's
Black
not,
the
they're
Bad
not
Boys?
that cool, dude. They're not that cool. I never fell in love with them, dude. I never thought it was a feat on African American content or just black people in general. I've never felt that way.
I just feel like the better version was Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes, but I agree. However, the one thing the original Bad Boys have that Bad Boys for Life, and that's a fucking terrible
It's not even
title.
Bad Boys 3.
Yeah,
it's
not
called
even
Bad Boys 4.
For Life.
It has number 4 in
And
it.
wait, there will be a Bad Boys 4.
Yeah, and I wonder the fucking title on
Yeah,
that.
dude.
Sorry,
Bad
boy,
Boys
help me.
5.
Next generation.
It's kind of like when they were messing up the Fast and Furious titles.
Yes, dude.
you know?
Honestly, dude.
The
Honestly.
third one was called The Fast and Furious.
Yes. Yes. The original Bad Boys at least have a sense of aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Some cool frames is like when they're pointing out their
Exactly what I'm
guns and it's
saying.
like
The
really
colors,
close
the
to
way
their
they're shot,
barrels
yes.
and shit. Yeah, that stuff. It does have that at least sense of aesthetic. But yeah, it's an annoying ass franchise. And how this Frankenstein's monster happened to, you know, sneak past the gates, I don't know how. Or even be created. The first 10 maybe 15 minutes is a car commercial for a blue Porsche. We have the same villain, but instead reskinned as a Mexican pretty boy. The same villain we got from fucking Hobbs and Shaw. You know what I'm saying? With the leather pants and everything, dude. It was abysmal. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, I went to see this movie in hopes that it would at least be good action, okay? Bare minimum. You know. No viscera, no hard language. I mean, look, dude, this movie could have been PG-13 is basically what I'm trying to say. They gave a couple of fucks, and even that seemed very forced.
We really need to reestablish what rated R is.
Yeah,
The Gentleman was rated
definitely,
R,
dude.
and it said fuck
Definitely,
and cunt a couple of times.
No biggie.
No biggie.
You could get that in a
Yeah,
sci-fi movie.
get
all right?
over it.
On the Sci-Fi Channel, all right? You know, like I remember watching hard PG-13 movies that did get away with a couple of fucks. And on top of that, maybe some heavy violence and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is weird, you know? I remember, maybe this is too off topic, but like I remember they were like saying, you know, when that whole controversy of Venom being rated R and then them making the decision of it being PG-13, we were like, okay, well they could definitely stretch the limits of being a PG-13 movie, you know. Mm-hmm. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, yes, you are.
But these movies don't even do that, you know. I feel.
Was there an end credit scene in this movie?
Yes, it ended a lot like something similar to Justice League. Will Smith's son gets locked up, you know, for like killing people and all that bullshit, and then Will Smith comes to him in the jail cell. It's almost like they used the same jail cell in Suicide Squad, where they go to get Harley Quinn.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
It was so stupid, bro.
So similar?
Yes, dude. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of when seeing this, man. And pretty much, you know, to get a couple years knocked off, you know, he could do some, you know, extra jobs, you know what I'm saying, of like some weird new team.
I don't know who asked for this movie at all. Are they like trying to pass the baton on to a new generation of bad boys?
No.
Because Vanessa Hudgens got a whole interview on a bunch of late night shows
For
just
what, playing
for
a
this
fucking
movie.
cop? For playing a cop. Dude, Vanessa Hudgens didn't do anything. They tried to pass that mantle over and then completely denied it. And they were like, and then we were like, no, you know what I'm saying? Just because we're in our 50s, we could still do this for life type shit. That's pretty much what they, because Martin Lawrence was trying to retire. Martin Lawrence's daughter,
Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence's daughter has like a kid with some weird slack jaw that was in the military, man, and he's trying to live his fucking life.
This
dude.
is probably the real life story of how they were trying to make this movie.
Yes.
But Martin Lawrence was
Yes.
like, guys, I don't want to.
Yes, but Will Smith was like, yo, fuck aging. We're in this for life type shit. I want to be catching bad guys, you know what I'm saying? I want to be bringing bitches out, burning buildings and all that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? When everyone else in the crew was like, dude, Will Smith, bro, you need to fucking retire, man. You know what I'm saying? Other people can handle this, all this bullshit. And it's that stupid comparison between like the new guys and like the old guys type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we got in the fucking Gentleman, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All those weird tropes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not good. Not good. Not even a good action movie, man. I was there for the action, and I didn't even get that. A lot of it was video game reminiscent, a lot of just shooting, all that bullshit.
You can't trust anybody these days, man. Can't trust anybody. I don't trust any. None of you are my friends. I don't trust any of you anymore.
Yeah.
You guys are just being tricked. I feel. I mean, I smelled all that bullshit from a mile away. I could have guessed all of that. I gave it the benefit of the doubt because of the things I was hearing. But hearing you say it, I absolutely believe it all.
Yeah, dude.
And
it's not even a joke.
I will never ever see that movie again. I have no need to. I would have liked to maybe see it on Netflix. Could have just gone straight to there.
When you realize what the movie was, then it was fun to make fun of that movie. And that's where I had the most enjoyment, personally. But it is completely unstructured.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's not unstructured, dude. It actually follows an algorithm. It is exactly what you think it is, honestly. And it is 100% predictable. You know, you think something's going to happen. It does. It's ridiculous. Funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bad Boys for Life. Don't go see it.
Don't go see it.
It's a tough movie year. Not only did Bad Boys for Life come out the same weekend as Robert Downey Jr.'s new highly anticipated
critically acclaimed. Yeah.
After his big
10-year debut
ending to the Avengers Marvel franchise. After all these years, he decides to do a passion project that his wife was partners behind, that they partnered in together, called Dolittle. Dolittle.
Not similar to Dr. Dolittle.
No. This is a supposed to be a reboot on Dr. Dolittle, but this movie decides to go a whole
crawled
other
out of
spin.
some type of void. Yeah,
I'm gonna read
Some hole in the ground.
some reviews on this movie. Did we go see Dolittle? I'll tell you right now. Here's what did everyone think was the good idea here? In a sense, this qualifies as animal cruelty. Some people
CGI
aren't
animals.
suited for the opportunities that are presented to them, but at least in its own way, no one can say that Dolittle fails to defy expectations. If the muddled plot and aesthetic chaos of Dolittle leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, seek the antidote.
dude, I'm done. Dude,
Oh no, I got more here.
dude, I'm dying, bro.
Splats onto the screen like a horse
Splats.
dong with laughs and no charm. Even the actor's legendary charisma, which this project sorely needed, gets tamped down.
Dude, I'm dying.
Please make it stop. Make it stop. Oh, please make it stop. What should have been an all-filled adventure quickly curdles into an awful one, thanks to pedestrian formula and the filmmaker's fixation on fart jokes.
Butt jokes.
There's got to be a moment as an actor watches himself on screen pulling bagpipes out of a CGI dragon's ass that he thinks, have I really fallen this far? Ladies and gentlemen, Dolittle is the movie that is going to ruin Robert Downey Jr.'s career. He went on the Joe Rogan podcast to promote this happy-go-lucky children's movie.
Dude. Shut the fuck up. You're killing me,
We
man.
sat and watched a 15-minute B-roll behind-the-scenes special feature of them on set filming this completely green-screened animal monstrosity.
With fucking like heads of the animals, like taxidermy. They just plastered like the head of an ostrich on like some wood, and that was basically like their cue for this is the ostrich, dude. CGI animals all the way, dude. Dogs wearing glasses, man. Talking fucking ducks, dude. You get the whole enchilada, dude. You get the whole enchilada, man.
It's said that the language on how he speaks to these animals, once you realize it, it's really hard to not point it out during the movie. Is that let's say a dog is in front of me. I would be barking at the dog, bark, 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 and the dog will bark, bark, bark back at me. But inside, we're actually having a conversation, and we can hear each other's English language, and we can understand each other. But as far as everyone around our surroundings is concerned,
Yeah, if I
am
saw
a
you
crazy
do that,
man barking at a dog.
If I saw you do that, I would think you are a fucking psychopath. You know what I'm saying? Who would be comfortable around that type of person?
Listen. There is great examples in relationships collaborating, in marriages collaborating, creating art. A best example I can think of is John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, Quiet Place.
Yes.
They went years in rejecting to work with each other because they kept it business. They kept, family is family, but business is business. They do their own projects separately, but they found a passion project, and they found a film history that they could implant onto the world in Quiet Place, man.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree.
And the legacy of the Downies is Dolittle.
And maybe we could have had some damage control if that Joe Rogan podcast was a little bit better. I would have
If he had
liked
been
to
smoking
see
some weed,
Yeah, I
had a
would have liked
couple
to
of
see
drinks.
like the real human of him, man.
Same conversation on that podcast, dude, that I've heard about Tropic
It was
Thunder,
vanilla.
about Iron
It was vanilla
Man.
as
It's
fuck.
the
He was
same
afraid to say
thing.
retard, bro. He wouldn't say retard on the Joe Rogan podcast, man. Odd.
Robert Downey Jr. was a huge inspiration of mine. Back when I first saw Chaplin, man, that man was so brilliant, and his past is so encouraging because of how far he has come, and he has earned his name, and he has earned the position he is in. That man could do anything. He can take the next 10 years off and do nothing and just bang his wife on a nice yacht in the Caribbean, dude.
Retire,
but instead,
chill out.
he decides to leave the set of Endgame right onto the set next door for Dolittle.
Yeah.
Bad career choice, man. Bad career choice. I unfollowed this guy off of Twitter. He's over here
Damn,
retweeting Saya's song that they made for this
that
movie,
slideshow, essentially. A slideshow of the lyrics.
The lyrics, it's underwater.
Look like SpongeBob, dude. by the way, bro, the names of the animals were completely stupid.
Tom Holland.
Yes, dude. Octavia Spencer,
bro.
Dude,
Yeah,
showing up to the booth wearing fucking scrubs and Crocs.
Dabby Dab the duck.
Yeah, Polly the parrot. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Doggy the dog.
Yeah. Stinky Poopy.
Yeah, they're all just noises. Yeah, all the elves
Dude,
there. Yeah,
if you have a chance,
whole cast.
dear citizens, if you have a chance to watch some of that B-roll, dude,
It's worth your time.
it is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Someone needs to take that footage and put the in the background.
Clown shit. And seeing Robert Downey Jr. be a weird person, man, making weird jokes and stuff, trying to be funny.
A child.
Yeah.
He looked like Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on set, like he was like sitting next to one of the little kids, and he was like, "Oh, where's my 6-foot arms when I need them?"
Yeah, he missed catching something.
dude,
He threw something in the air and he,
missed,
and he was talking about being Mr. Fantastic or something like that, dude. I don't fucking know, man. It was so odd, bro.
quack shit.
Yeah, quack shit, man. People in green suits. Dude, no animals,
God save the
bro.
queen.
Yeah.
Apparently he talks like this the whole time. Oh no, that is celery, Debbie. I need the other. Please get it to me. He sounds like he's doing a Walsh accent, but sounds a lot worse than what he did in Sherlock Holmes.
Dude, no, bro. Yeah, they're having him on fucking
The excuse
Dune
is that hey, it's a kids movie. Back off. It's for kids. It's not for you. Back off. The hell with that, dude. I will kill myself before I let my child be brainwashed on that. Son, what are you watching? I will kick the TV down and smash it, dude. I will burn the house down before you put Dolittle on.
It's evil as fuck, bro.
That is equivalent to watching demons and doing witchcraft in this house.
Yes, dude, absolutely. Dude, it is abhorrent, man. But look, I'm
Be a good parent, guys.
I'm really sensitive to
Don't take your kid to
the
see
Dolittle
Dolittle, damn it.
clowning. I'm really sensitive to the Dolittle clowning, dude, just because I think it's so fucking funny, man. And if you watch some of that B-roll, dude, you will understand. It is unreal. How that movie and just that idea managed to like crawl out of a crack in the earth or something, dude. It's evil, man.
The budget of this movie is $175 million.
All that was
Wait till
probably
the
to the
actors.
CGI actors.
Actors, not
dude.
even the CGI.
Oh,
They
you're
went to the
right,
actors.
dude. You're right.
And it's been out.
Wow.
It's officially been out for a week.
Just to get him to show up.
It's officially been out for a week, and it has made a whopping $60 million worldwide.
On a budget of
100 and what?
$175 million.
That's kind of an L.
I don't think it's going to make another $100 million.
I hear this is worse than Cats.
Oh my god.
Projection wise,
Dude, fuck, man, I'm kind of interested. I kind of want to see it.
dude, we need to be tripping balls if we ever go see Dolittle. Man. I
will,
need to
absolutely.
be plastered.
Cats cost less, and it's made the same amount of money. So I guess you're right.
Damn.
You know, cats had the problem of they had a human hand on one of those cats, and they had to re-edit it and then re-release it back to the theaters a week after it was already released. These are the problems.
Could you imagine
that
seeing that in
Hollywood's
theaters,
having.
dude?
Can you imagine that being passed through the board? You get my approval, sir. We need you to watch this movie. It's fine. It's fine. It'll do. Just go. I'm on the phone. Damn it.
Yeah.
He probably had to go in the back with his hooker and do some blow real quick. That's why he didn't have time to review the movie.
Yeah. Just pass it along like a fucking hot potato.
Really disappointed. Really disappointed. Robert, I feel like this affects the way I look at this dude when it comes to the Marvel franchise, because it just, what he did after all that was just so disappointing.
And you know, I 100% agree with you, because it's like, I understand, you know, they're paying you, and I understand, you know, some things could necessarily just be a paycheck, right?
But you don't need the money.
But do you really need the money? I hate to be that fucking cynical when we're talking about, you know, a lot of zeros here, right? But like, this is Robert Downey Jr., dude. All those residuals he will be making, like, literally for life off of Marvel. You know what I'm saying? And other projects he's done. He's an established actor. You know what I'm saying? He's not anything new. He's been here for a long time. It's like, there should be a point where projects are beneath you, man. At least I feel. It's weird to see him do this. It's weird to see him be the face of that, man. Just furthers the fact that I don't know if these Marvel actors are necessarily bankable. We got Onward and shit.
No, definitely not. They're definitely not bankable.
What if his wife forced him to do this?
She was the master manipulator.
Dropped her robe. It was wearing very sexy lingerie. Came up.
There's like a contract,
and then she
slipped
a little script.
Yeah,
She's
dude.
like, just sign right here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's something going on. Because I don't want to give him all the blame.
Dude, he's enjoying this. Look at him on Twitter, guys.
Yeah.
No, he's enjoying this.
Yeah, dude.
He has
shying
to play face. He has to.
It's more than just playing face, dude. You can post the movie, it be out, and then leave it at that. You don't got to continue to market it after that.
And look, dude, we didn't need to see this from Robert Downey Jr., man. He could have just taken 5 years off. He could have taken a couple years off and come back to Marvel. That would have been fine.
I have a feeling that he's going to be having conversations with Kevin Feige. I haven't heard anything. I'm not saying that. But I have a feeling that that we're going to hear breaking news. Robert Downey Jr. is having lunch with Kevin Feige.
Wait for sure.
They're going to keep his head in the Marvel universe.
You know Kevin Feige already had lunch with Patrick Stewart just recently, to ask him if he would come back as Professor X. You know what Patrick Stewart told him? He said, I had a good ending in Logan. What else do I need to say? Get the fuck out of here, Kevin.
We'll double your money.
Yeah, right. Triple it.
Oh, man.
We'll
Patrick is... Come on, Kevin. Now you're just being pathetic. Triple it. We'll go higher.
As a matter of fact, let me write the check. I'll write the check for myself, and then we, continue business as usual. You know what I'm saying? Yikes.
I have a feeling,
Yikes.
but I do think Robert Downey Jr. is going to do a Netflix movie next. I just have that feeling.
I think I would have been okay if Dolittle was a Netflix movie.
Like in the kids section.
Yeah. Like a
made a
Disney
lot
Plus
more
movie or
sense.
some shit.
It would have made a lot more sense.
Yep.
Yeah. This wasn't even Disney, though.
I know.
I don't even know what studio made this movie.
I don't know what. Who?
What?
Yeah.
Where? How?
It was Universal.
Yeah.
It was Universal.
Wow.
Same dumbasses that were making the Fast and Furious.
Wow,
Did Universal do Bad Boys?
I think that was Fox. No, that's not
What's
Fox.
that?
Did Universal do Bad Boys for Life?
Bad Boys, was that not Sony? I'm pretty sure it's Sony.
Sony.
Bad Boys
I think.
Is it Sony?
I think.
It's Sony.
Speaking of Sony, new trailer just dropped. Sony's cinematic superhero villain
Dark,
universe
gritty,
is
edgy.
expanding. Is it connected to Marvel's universe though? You'll find out right here on Opus Vita Talks. I like that. I wanted to try that.
That was a good transition. No, we're talking about the fucking Morbius trailer.
Morbius.
Morbius.
What's the actor's name again?
Jared Leto? Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, Jared Leto.
Come on, come on.
40 lashes.
Sexy Jared Leto.
Listen, dude. I blanked on Jared Leto because I wanted to blank on that dude after what happened in Suicide Squad. I mean, come on. Does this dude have to have a successful supervillain franchise?
He has to.
He has to have it. Didn't work out for
can't
Joker.
end on a bad note.
He moved over into Spider-Man. He said, damn it. Marvel. Let's go to Marvel. How about them?
Yeah.
They'll take me.
Yeah.
Jared Leto looks like Jared Leto.
Surprise!
He looks like Jared Leto, but like an Ethan Hawke version with the crutches. He looks like Timmy from South Park.
Yeah, seriously. Fucking quadriplegic and shit.
With the creepy Beethoven music in the background.
And he has to hum it and sing it as well.
Morbius is, if you're not familiar who Morbius is, he is one of Spider-Man's villains. He's a doctor, professor with a dying disease, and he turns into a vampire via science. You know, you've heard this story a million times. This is Lizard. This is Green Goblin. This is all of that. There's literally a scene where a bat is just comes out. He's just experimenting on a perfectly laid out flat. Yeah, he's dissecting on bats.
Yeah, like a fucking maniac. Yeah.
He puts his hand out and all of a sudden he gets the powers. One thing that I would like to discuss that is very confusing about this trailer, that's going to confuse you guys, and I have to help clear it up so that you guys can understand. Two things. One, there is a moment in this trailer where Morbius is in what it looks like prison jumpsuit walking out of an alley, and you see behind him a Spider-Man promo art that looks like it's photoshopped on there, and it is the exact Spider-Man from the PS4 video game that is the Raimi skin suit. It's not the Raimi skin suit from the movie. It's the Raimi skin suit from the video game. And it looks like a video game. So it's not even, you can't even look at that and say, oh, that's the Tom Holland Spider-Man suit. No, you look at it and you say, oh, that's the Raimi Spider-Man PS4 suit.
It's almost like it's intentional in a way.
Yes. Or yes.
Weird.
Or they just didn't. They couldn't find the Homecoming suit in time, so they're like, just put a Spider-Man in there.
Couldn't find the Shutterstock image.
They didn't want to draw something for the movie. Like,
and the reason why this
then don't put Spider-Man in it.
Important is because it says a murderer on him. And this indicates Spider-Man from Far From Home at the end, where it's revealed it's Peter Parker and he is a murderer. So the world thinks that Spider-Man is a murderer. So it's implying that it's this Tom Holland Spider-Man, but it's not that Spider-Man. And then they confuse you more. By the end of the trailer, Michael Keaton, the Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming, it's Tom Holland, is featured. Hey, Morbius. Hey, what's up, Doc? He says like he's the bunny.
Yeah, but he doesn't have like a cigarette or a monocle or anything like that. No, he's like tired of that Avenger. We're trying to start something more sinister.
So it's like it's confirming, hey, we're connected to the Spider-Man, but they're also contradicting themselves. It's confusing. I know. What is the answer? The answer is that they are trying to connect these worlds, which would mean that the Venom movie, the Morbius movie, the Spider-Man movies are all connected inside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jesus Christ. I understand why this might be so complicated for you guys. However, they cannot have big world impact decisions on the Marvel Cinematic Universe just because they're Sony movies. They can only be a fraction of the world of this corner in Spider-Man. So it is like they're building up to Sinister Six. And then on top of that, we almost lost the rights to Tom Holland not too long ago. Mm-hmm. So it is one headache of a trailer to process, But once you get past that, there are some things you can kind of enjoy about it. You can enjoy the monster transformation of Morbius. He looks really good as Morbius, and the prosthetics, you know, it doesn't look like CGI. It looks like he's doing some wire rope work. Other than that, this movie really looks like X-Men 2 United. This looks like an early 2000s Marvel movie. This it does not look like of the times.
I agree with everything you said, honestly, and you know, I'm a big fan of vampires. I'm a big fan of that like mythology, that like those themes, I guess. If I don't know, you know what I'm saying, but like I don't know how that is. You know, this may be. I'm worried about this being too soft. You know, I'm worried about the vampires in Blade. You know what I'm saying? You know, they keep trying to kind of introduce this like darker horror element, and I just never seem to necessarily get that. You know, with the music
Because it's so on the nose.
Yes, absolutely.
It wants to do that, but it doesn't want to be creative and do it its own way. It just wants to do the cliche things.
Absolutely.
You know, you see young Morbius getting beat up by some bullies.
It's another origin, dude.
Yeah,
It's another origin
story.
movie, man. Another origin story, dude. And look, a lot of the CGI and stuff like that looked eerily reminiscent to Nightcrawler effects, just in a different hue. I'm not talking about the echolocation or whatever the fuck, but like when he's like jumping, or whatever the fuck. There's these. It's oddly similar to Nightcrawler. I don't know if that's a recycling. I don't know, dude. I don't know what that is, but it just I know. And look, the biggest red flag to me was this was the first trailer, and this was almost 3 minutes. It's a long fucking trailer.
The first trailers need to be a minute 50, under 2 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
Way too long. It was way too long. It felt like it gave us a lot of information. It felt like it gave us the beginning and the end of the movie in that
essentially
order.
Yes.
In the order.
Yeah, clip from each section. Yeah. Essentially. Yeah, seriously.
Ruben, what did you think of the Morbius trailer?
I remember when we first saw the trailer together, we didn't react to it like in the video, but we are, you know, sitting down together watching it, and it was, you know, your basic origin story trailer, I guess I would say, and then we had that little surprise thing at the ending, which I don't know, kind of made things interesting, but I don't know, you know. It's weird because this movie's coming out, you know, the same, you know, just a few months before Venom 2 comes out. So it's a little, you know, odd. Just throw it in here this year. But we'll just have to wait and see how, you know, it connects everything, I guess. The whole thing with the graffiti of Spider-Man. Hopefully they change it for the final cut of the movie, because that's just sloppy. It just shows that they don't care. It just shows like, yeah, we have the rights to this because we're Sony. You know, we made the game. We got the rights to the game. We'll just pop this in here.
Facts.
But so hopefully, you know, they get their shit together before the movie comes out.
You know, I really wish. Two things. You know, I never really associated like Morbius being a part of the Sinister Six personally. I know he is a Spider-Man villain. Like, Spider-Man does run into Morbius several times in the comics. But like when Morbius was just a mad scientist, essentially, he wasn't like necessarily concerned with Spider-Man or like robbing banks. So for him to be in the Sinister Six, I think is kind of
cure himself.
Yes, yeah, and to fuel his bloodlust because he's a fucking vampire.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
he's
weird decision making. Yes, weird decision making, I guess. You know, I much would have rather these characters just exist in this universe. If I'm being honest, you know, that's what I loved about a perfect example, Black Panther in Civil War. You know what I'm saying? To me, some of the best Black Panther shit ever. More badass than his own movie. I don't want to go into that necessarily, but do you understand what I mean by that? Another great example. I know this movie wasn't fucking good, but the second Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, dude. Entrance of the Silver Surfer is godly, bro.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'd much rather these characters just exist, you know? That was a problem I had with Captain Marvel. Is because, like, you gave me an origin of a whole movie of her, and especially with a weak end result in Endgame, it just didn't make much sense. Personally, I don't know if I need to see this movie.
If it's
is what I'm trying to say.
Of Morbius, yeah.
Yes, exactly. I don't know.
I agree. I'm pretty. I had no real interest in this movie at all. This movie just feels like we have to make something. You know, it felt like this was just something that they pulled out of the hat because at the time they weren't connected to the MCU, and it's now like the time has caught up to them. They already made the movie, and they're like, oh well, we can connect it now, so let's throw a little bit in that while we're here.
Look, Venom made a lot of money, okay, and to the labs, bro, the tone, it's eerily.
It looks the same.
Yes,
it looks
dude.
like you could
eerily resemble, dude. Even
same.
the font looks the same, dude. I'm not saying it is the same font, but the font looks eerily similar.
Yeah.
Familial, you know. I mean, it was kind of cool animation, like draining the fluid and stuff. That was cool. I'll give you that, but like, strange times, strange. We'll see.
We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. Did you have a chance to see the Morbius trailer? Did you guys see Bad Boys for Life? Are you going to see The Gentleman this weekend? Let us know in the comments below what you guys think about all of these projects. Are we just out of line? Are we the weirdos? Are we the ones that, you know, art is subjective? And that's what I was thinking and trying to say when we were driving back here, was that I understand art and film and movies are subjective, okay? They're not for everybody. They're not for every audience member. That aside, there is a difference in making a good movie.
Yes, facts.
In making a good movie. And it's and we're in dark times.
Yeah.
That is my point.
Yeah, dude.
Ladies,
boy, are we not even seeing just that.
Ruben, what's the next movie coming out? What do we got?
Birds of Prey. We got Sonic. We got Onward.
Yeah, your eyes start burning. Yeah.
Hopefully Netflix or one of these streaming drops some cool, because for the theatrical schedule, it's not looking good. Hopefully Netflix pulls something out their ass or something. Hulu, Amazon. Give me The Boys. That's coming soon. I'm excited for that.
I still want to see The Color Out of Space. I hear that's pretty interesting.
That's that came out this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should go see that.
Apple, I don't know.
Totally forgot. February 9th is Oscars. Not that those really matter
anymore.
They never
anymore.
Really did, but
sure.
yeah, but
you're right. You're
more
right.
so
you're right.
now
you're
than
right.
ever.
You're right.
Before we end today's show, I just want to kind of talk about the nominees that we have. I just thought that these were so interesting. We were out one night having dinner, and we were going through this list as we were eating, dude. Just laughing our asses off.
Confused.
Confused. Yes. Again, like we missed something, man.
Yeah. Facts.
First things first. Best Picture. We have 1917, Ford v Ferrari, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite, The Irishman, Little Woman, Jojo Rabbit, and Marriage Story. Right when this list came out, we went to go see Ford v Ferrari because we were slacking on it, and it somehow is still in the movie theaters.
Yeah,
dude.
somehow still alive.
Still like lingering on. It was like
Like
one
a ghost.
showtime a day.
Yeah,
is
like a
glowing.
ghost. Yeah,
And we wanted to say like, oh wow, it made the list. We should go catch up. You should go see what it's all about, man. Maybe it's got some good aesthetics. Maybe it's got some good colors, some good music, something like that. Boring movie, man. Just a boring
Too
movie.
long.
Too long. So much useless information. I don't even want to get too much into that, but I don't see why Ford v Ferrari was really on this list. If I had to pick anyone between this category that I would like to win Best Picture, I am definitely between 1917 and Joker. I feel like the Academy would just pick Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or
The Irishman.
Marriage Story or Irishman because
Yeah.
it's good for the culture.
Have you guys seen Parasite?
yeah, I seen it.
He's seen Parasite.
I saw Parasite.
haven't.
What do you think?
It's cool.
Yeah.
Did I think it was some mind bending thriller? No.
No.
Does it have some cool themes on, like the rich and the poor, the elite and the low class? Sure. I mean, I've seen better Korean films. You know what I'm saying? I think the just to wrap this point up, essentially, is I think the Asians have a very, very different mind when it comes to just creativity in general. That goes with film, animation, art. They just think differently, and I think there are a lot of amazing stuff they have made, real mind bending shit. But I don't think this was one of them, personally.
Best actor, we have Jonathan Pryce, The Two Popes, that famous Netflix movie. Adam Driver, The Marriage Story. Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, look, I saw Marriage Story. And you're going to see Marriage Story on a lot of these nominations. I don't think this movie should really be on this type of level. When we're comparing Joker to Marriage Story, a movie about a couple
failed
that's
marriage?
crying at each other and yelling, versus Joker versus Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
You're right.
None of these compare to those levels.
And
how do you even compare
Not
these?
to mention, these are that's a Netflix movie, being compared to something that is in actual cinema.
Yeah, making box office money.
Weird.
Anthony Hopkins, Best Supporting Actor, Two Popes. Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Joe Pesci, The Irishman. Al Pacino, Irishman. And Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in Neighborhood. Weird that Tom Hanks is a Best Supporting Actor in that movie. I understand that the movie is about a reporter investigating Mr. Rogers, but I just don't see why you put Tom Hanks as a supporting actor in a movie that is about.
Don't put him at all. If you didn't make the list, just don't put him there.
If anybody on that list, I would say Brad Pitt. I would like Brad Pitt to win, but the hell with me.
Probably a pope or something.
Probably the Pope or something, dude.
No, dude, no way. What the fuck is that movie
Best
even about?
actress, Charlize Theron, Bombshell.
God. Dude.
Renee Zellweger, Judy. Cynthia Erivo, Harriet. Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story. Saoirse Ronan, Little Woman.
By Amy Pascal.
I gotta be honest. The only movie I saw on this list was Marriage Story. We skipped Bombshell, that movie that was about something that happened last week. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, you're serious. Really, dude. But too soon, man. They got on that movie quick.
Listen, I don't even like most of these nominations because I feel like there was definitely some snubs this year. Queen and Slim, Honey Boy. There's been so much talented
The Lighthouse
artists,
man.
Us.
from
Yes,
us.
Yes.
There's been so many talented female directors, actresses, and producers this year that I feel like this list and this year just does not do that and it's just disappointing.
And that's what worries me because it's it starts to, for me, I start to ask the question of what is an Oscar? anymore. You know, back then that was something you like earned. Maybe this was the way it was always.
No, you're right.
Maybe this is the way this was always been, but like you're right. There has been a lot of things that have been obviously snubbed. Why?
Best supporting actress: Kathy Bates, Richard Jewell.
She's really
The
good.
movie no one gives a fuck about.
Me and Ruben had
No
to go
one cares.
at early screening of that, dude.
God, dude, why, man?
She was so annoying. She was the most annoying thing about that movie. Her
Who the
character.
fuck gives a fuck about Richard Jewell, man?
Margot Robbie, Bombshell. Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit. Florence Pugh, Little Woman. Laura Dern, Marriage Story.
Ooh, okay, that's I don't see why.
The only thing I agree with is the Scarlett Johansson. I really enjoyed her in Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
If anything is deserving of that necessarily.
Best Director: Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Todd Phillips, Joker. Bong Joon-ho, Parasite. God, I hope that wasn't racist.
It was kind of racist.
That was
but
Why'd
it's
you
okay.
say it like that?
It's okay.
It's
It's
Bong
okay.
Joon-ho.
Hey, it's okay.
It's cool, bro. I won't be the one getting canceled.
Damn, he sent you out to burn.
Isaac Joel is over party.
Yeah. Hashtag. Yeah.
Hashtag. Opus Vita's over party.
You're a fucking racist.
Got
pig.
canceled. I'm gonna cancel it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese, Irishman. Sam Mendes, 1917. This is what I will say about this. I think Martin Scorsese had his time. I think he did his part in cinema. I think he left his mark. This dude does not need to be winning any more awards.
I agree. Not for
If he
Irishman, too.
wins anything, especially not for Irishman. But this year, if Irishman wins anything, dude, I'm just annoyed. I'll just be annoyed at that. Was there anyone from here best director to you?
Well,
Stood out to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, from a technical, even though I did not, truly enjoy 1917 to maybe its full potentiality, from a technical standpoint, it is very, very impressive.
Yes.
It is impressive, dude.
I would be surprised. No, not surprised. I won't be surprised if 1917 wins best director. I think that was definitely a big challenge for them. Yeah. Best original music score.
Oh, I know who this one.
Best original music score. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. The same score that they've been using for the last 40
The same
years
MP3s.
is up for an award for original score.
The same MP3s, .wav files to just pass it around.
1917, I thought it was pretty good. Joker, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Little Woman, and Marriage Story. Guess who did Marriage Story? Randy Newman.
Randy Newman.
I noticed the composer
Bastard.
for Joker's like an unknown, basically.
Yes.
Hinder. I'm not gonna say it.
That could be really interesting. I mean, I definitely would give it to Joker, honestly.
It's a chick.
I thought it was just the most interesting with sound, just in general.
Yeah, it fits.
The most creative.
Yeah.
Man. Jesus. I don't even want to go through the rest of these if I'm being
Animated
honest, because a
feature.
lot of these categories are just stupid.
Animated feature, Missing Link. will
Best-
probably win.
What's that? Best original song? Get the hell out of here. I don't care about a best original song.
Wait,
I don't care if you guys do. I really don't.
What are the nominees?
For best original song?
Yeah.
What even is there?
We
Is
got-
there any nominees?
Stand Up from Harriet. I'm
Oh,
standing with
black
you.
people.
I can't let
Black
you
people
throw
things.
yourself away, Randy Newman.
Fuck you, Randy Newman.
I'm Gonna Love Me Again, Elton John. Into the Unknown by Robert Lopez. That's I don't know.
No one cares a fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
Best cinematography. That's
Best cinematography. Robert Richardson, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Rodrigo Prieto, The Irishman. Roger Deakins, 1917. If anything, should go with Roger Deakins.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate this. Jaron Blaschke, The Lighthouse.
Wow.
That deserves to be on there for sure.
What is the light,
cinematography-
dude? Wow, that's
Amazing.
fascinating,
that's
man.
all they got.
At least
I
it
know,
kind of
that's all
made.
it
Yeah,
got,
that's
though.
all
That's
it
all
got.
it got, yeah.
Wow, bro. Wow.
Lawrence Sher, Joker. Yeah. Best sound mixing. Sound mixing is so weird because the 4V Ferrari is on there. That's probably all.
You know, with
that
all those
movie has
artificial
going
car
for it.
sounds.
Recording
Yeah.
cars.
Best visual effects, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker is on there.
It's the biggest, technically.
Get the hell out of here! You're lying. Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Oh, Avengers. Oh, okay.
1917. Look, 1917 should not be on this because to them the best visual effects is the scene where he jumps into the water. That is essentially. There's other CGI in the movie, of course, but that is essentially what it is that they're talking about, and that doesn't really qualify it as the best visual effects. The Lion King and The Irishman.
I swear to God,
The Lion King.
The Irishman will come out.
Jesus,
on that.
dude. Probably. You're right, dude. You're probably right. You're probably right.
Man, it's going to be a tough year. We're going to talk about those winners once they are released February 9th.
We watching or what?
Yeah, we'll watch it. And we'll talk about it right here.
What are we watching?
The Oscars.
Okay.
We'll keep up to date with it. We'll hear those acceptance
Sunday
speech.
night.
We'll see who goes political, who comes on there with their political agenda that night. Everyone has to do something. There's no host?
Yep, there's no host.
Oh yeah.
So is it gonna be some slideshows?
Because Kevin Hart said some gay jokes.
Oh wow,
Not good
man.
for the culture. Not good for the culture.
no.
Everyone's too
God
sensitive.
damn.
Everyone's too damn sensitive.
definitely
Man, some gay jokes. Can you fucking imagine? Now you can't host the Oscars. Go fuck yourself, bro. Wow.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here at Opus Vita Talks. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. We are here to feed you every bit of information that we can and keep you updated on everything. We'll see you next time.
Yes. Also, and don't text and drive. You might misspell a word.
Absolutely.